Hello, today we will be talking about machine learning on Microsoft Azure.
Now, what is Microsoft Azure? Microsoft Azure is a cloud computing platform that gives the user access and management of cloud services and other resources provided by Microsoft. Examples of services and resources are that you could store your data and transform such data that you stored. Now, how can you get access to all these services and resources? It is really simple. All you need is a strong internet connection and have the ability to connect to the Azure portal. Now, after talking about what Microsoft Azure is, let me talk to you about what is machine learning on Microsoft Azure. Azure Machine Learning is a cloud service within Microsoft Azure that is used to train, deploy, and manage machine learning models at a large scale. The main usage for machine learning on Microsoft Azure is for data scientists and machine learning engineers to help accelerate and automate their workflow. Key benefits of using Azure Machine Learning is that it has a centralized management of scripts and run history, which helps it make it easy to compare model versions. And on top of that, it has an easy deployment and management of models to the cloud.
Hi, my name is Ritika, and I'll be briefly discussing the overall machine learning training process in Microsoft Azure. So, in machine learning, training a model means helping a specific model understand and recognize different patterns from labeled examples. Specifically, in Microsoft Azure, several steps are needed in order to train a model. First, one needs to write a basic training script in Python, for example, and after saving it in the outputs folder, one can then run the script as an experiment to actually train the model. And also, specifically in Azure Machine Learning, one can log metrics by including the Azure ML defaults package in their script. Next, one can use script parameters to allow the model to accept a range of values and therefore increase the flexibility of experiments. And specifically, one can use the argparse library to read arguments passed into the script. And finally, after running the experiment used to train the machine learning model, one can use the getFileNames method to list the files that are generated, or download the files to the local file system by using the download files method. And furthermore, by registering a model, one can actually track multiple versions of their model and even specify properties like the name, description, and frameworks for their model. So yeah, this was just a quick overview of the machine learning model training process using Microsoft Azure.
My name is Maisha and I'm going to be talking about optical character recognition, or OCR. It's text recognition that extracts data from documents, images, street signs, posters, etc., and eliminates the need for manual data entry. It's used in intelligent document processing, otherwise known as IDP. Azure uses the Read OCR engine. It's a machine learning-based model for languages. The languages that Azure currently includes are English, French, German, Italian, Portuguese, Spanish, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Russian, Arabic, and Hindi, as well as other languages with certain scripts such as Latin scripts or Arabic scripts. There's a couple of options you could use. There's Computer Vision 4.0 for non-document images, such as street signs or posters, etc. That uses a synchronous API. Or you could use Form Recognizer for documents, either handwritten, scanned, or digital, which uses an asynchronous API. And this can all be done with Microsoft Azure's Vision Studio.
The next topic we'd like to discuss is the Microsoft Azure Data Factory. The Azure Data Factory is a service that Microsoft provides for storing, analyzing, and publishing organized data that is gathered. To be more specific, it's a cloud-based integration service that controls and automates the movement and transformation of data. Now, the Data Factory goes through a process in order to have the output data set, be transformed and analyzed onto the cloud, which is where it can be visualized and analyzed even more in depth through analytical frameworks such as R and Apache Spark. The process begins with input data set, which then moves on to the pipeline, which is first transformed and analyzed, then onto the output data set, and then to a Microsoft Azure linked service, which can be the Azure Data Lake, a block storage system, or a SQL server, and then onto a gateway, and finally up to the cloud, which is where all the businesses can use and visualize the data necessary for their business.
A part of the Autonomous Systems Suite from Microsoft Azure, Project Bonsai is a low-code AI platform that accelerates AI-powered automation development. Bonsai provides an intuitive interface for developers to create AI with real-world knowledge and experience as models for simulations without the need for neural net design. Bonsai consists of 4 key components to train a brain: architect, the instructor, the learner, and the predictor. The architect creates and optimizes neural networks based on the curriculum defined in the Inkling code. The architect also currently only supports distributed deep queue network, proximal policy optimization, and soft actor critic. The instructor executes the training plan by configuring the learner and any data source that may be needed. The instructor also operates in real time as the learner iterates through receiving and processing data. The learner executes the algorithm selected by the architect and coordinates with the instructor for setting starting parameters for the learning algorithms and calculates the response grade of performance. And finally, a predictor consists of a trained brain that will provide a way for developers to send and input data to the brain to receive a prediction as a result.